being a bystander.
Professor being a bystander. Okay? Anything else?
I guess not addressing any of the issues.
I'm sorry?
Not addressing any of the issues.
Who not addressing any of the issues?
The professor.
The professor not addressing any of the issues, okay? Anything else? So, given the policies that we've talked about, are any of the policies that we've talked about triggered in this situation?
Yes.
Yes. Which ones? You have to not mumble.
Creed.
Sorry?
Creed.
Creed? So creed as a ground of discrimination, okay? So that would be your harassment and discrimination policy potentially. We're just issue spawning. Okay, what else? Just creed?
Student rights and responsibilities.
Student rights and responsibilities, how? You got a yes from one of your resource people behind you. Yes. So what?
Basically the one student getting up and yelling at the other student is creating a
Yes.
hostile environment.
Yes. Okay. Anything else?
Gender identity.
Gender identity. Why do you say that?
Talking about religion from about what the Holy Book says and what it doesn't permit and all that, and addressing people in the class without knowing who is there or who like inspires us.
So making pronouncements based on a holy text without being aware of who's in the classroom, how it might affect them, and that being raising gender identity. I'll add to that maybe sexual orientation, maybe also sexual expression, and I'll add some more, right? So remember, what is Clay's responsibility? To maintain a learning environment that is free from discrimination and harassment. How's Clay going to do that if Clay clams up, right? So something is going on. Something's been allowed to go on, and there wasn't an intervention, right? We also have Alicia, who has the freedom of expression, right? Alicia, she has the freedom. She should be able to say what it is she wants. And to learn and to be heard. She has all of those rights. But are they limitless? And if her rights infringe on the human rights of other people in the learning environment, is it appropriate to limit them?
Yes.
Yes. If Bernie, who also has rights, if Bernie is expressing their rights in a way that limits others, can Clay limit Bernie as well?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay, so yes, a number of different policies are engaged here, and Clay's obligation is very similar to yours in the classroom. It would be to spot the issues, right? The plot does thicken, so please, in your own time, maybe with some Chardonnay, check out scenario B and scenario C. It gets very juicy. There's intrigue and mystery and all of those things. But at the end of the day, we find out some things about Clay. So we find out that Clay felt uncomfortable because Clay also had an identity that was being affected by both Alicia and Bernie, and felt that the classroom environment was not a safe one for Clay. We have a human rights investigation, a human rights application that's filed by Bernie against the college, naming the college as well as other individual actors in the experience as well. And then we have Alicia, who is on purpose. She's an older student, female student, she's a mature student, age, female student, sex, expressing her creed, so religion, right? So all of those were fairly obvious. We have Bernie. Bernie uses the they as a pronoun. Maybe Bernie has a gender identity that will be triggered by the code. And then we have Clay, and we don't know very much about Clay towards the end. So I share that scenario with you. It was more important to talk about the questions that came from the floor. But the important thing about that scenario is that oftentimes there will be these benign, very quick interactions that will require you to think about fairness in a in a multi-directional way, and to be able and willing to identify whether or not there's a policy violation going on related to human rights and to diversity or to the general responsibility in terms of respect. So just going to the second last slide that says key takeaways. Appreciate the legal framework out of which your obligations rise. I did a little bit of legal in Jerry's thoughts, back to legal. In Jerry's thoughts, you can accept them as something food for thought, but in terms of the legal obligation, that's something I want you to for sure take with you, especially as you go through the other sessions. You will hear contrasting views from your colleagues and from your speakers, and that's good. The legal framework is a very unique and different framework that's related to legal liability. You may choose in certain situations to act in a way that's slightly different or markedly different. It's important that when you make that choice, know that you're making it, as opposed to making an error that can be costly to the college or to yourself. The college, i.e. you, the college is a building, you're living and breathing human beings, must demonstrate that it has abided by its own policies. In order to abide by the policies, you need to be able to know what they say and know what the expectations are. Finally, remember the promise. Students at Fleming are promised a learning experience without discrimination and harassment. Not a spritz. None. Your job is to deliver that. So, if your actions are in line with the delivery of that discrimination, harassment-free environment, great, and thank you. If they are not, I'm judging you and so will try you. So, thank you very much for your time and your attention. I hope that this was helpful, that you learned at least 2 new things. At least 2? Yeah. If you have any questions, ask Martha. And it's just been a pleasure to work with you. Have a wonderful rest of your day.